Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. People who stop and scream at people in the middle of a crowded store are a special breed. You wonder how crappy their life is that they have to take it out on a total stranger. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. Wearing blue automatically means I work for Walmart, apparently. To start off, I work for a security company, but not as a normal security officer, but as a security patient transport person. Due to HIPAA laws and company policy, I can't say more than that on it. Anyway, at the request of our client, our uniforms are purposely designed to make up look as little as normal security officers and/or police officers as possible, so as to make our transports as comfortable as possible. We don't even wear a badge. So our uniforms consist of khaki cargo pants, a blue polo with a company logo, and for when it's cold, a blue medium jacket with the company logo. Well, anyway, my shift had ended and I was heading over to my girlfriend's house to have dinner and hang out for a bit. I decided to stop by a Walmart between work and her house to pick up some drinks and some flowers to surprise her with. Now, I'd only been in this Walmart one or two times, as it's about 45 minutes away from where I live, and only ever pass it if I go to my girlfriend's house after work. As I'm inside in full uniform, coat and all, because it's 23 degrees outside and snowing, I have the items I needed, Mountain Dew and mixed flowers. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I should pick up before I leave? While pondering if I need anything else, a middle-aged woman walks up to me and asks where the antifreeze is. Now, I'm a big guy, right at 6'7", so it's nothing for me to see where other departments are in a building. I told the lady the automotive section appears to be in the far back corner of the building. Someone there should be able to direct you from there. I then walk off as I can think of nothing else I need and really wanted to get to my girlfriend's house as we haven't seen each other in 3 days. As I'm walking off, the woman screams at the top of her voice, I swear it echoed in the building, "You are the rudest, most unprofessional customer service rep of the planet." I just stopped and turned to look at her, and she continues to scream, "I asked you for help, and all you could do is say to the corner of the building, and then you walk off. You should be fired and never allowed to work with people again." With my job, I've been trained in de-escalation tactics, but none of them would work on this Super Karen. I tried several times to explain to her that I do not work for Walmart, and even went as far as to show her the logo on my uniform. "You're a lying piece of crap. You have on khakis and a blue shirt, the uniform of the store. Now get your manager out here now." As previously stated, this woman's yelling so loud it's echoing throughout the store. Finally, the manager comes over and asks what's going on. Well, Karen immediately starts in on her little tirade on how I'm the worst employee in the history of ever. Finally, I'm starting to get a little on the pissed off side and start to yell a little myself. "Woman, would you shut the hell up and listen for 5 effing seconds?" I yelled. Karen stops her rant and stares at me on absolutely disbelief when I go on with my rant. "I told you several times that I do not work here, even going as far as showing you the logo on my uniform. Just because I'm wearing a blue polo and khaki pants doesn't mean I work here. Why don't you stop running your mouth and try listening to people? Also, you want to talk about others being rude? What do you call screaming and yelling at someone you don't even know in the middle of a crowded store? I just came here after work to get some drinks and flowers for my girlfriend." Karen starts to say something else, but the manager cuts her off. "I see what's going on here, sir. I'm sorry for this. Please feel free to grab another bundle of any kind of flowers from our selection and meet me at the self-checkout, and I will personally check your items out at no cost. As for you, ma'am, you've been warned several times about harassing other customers and employees of the store and about yelling in the store. As of this very moment, you are banned from the store. You have 3 minutes to be off the property or you will be arrested for trespass." Karen moved faster than I would have imagined she could to get out the door, and I got 2 free bundles of flowers and 2 free 2-liters. When I got to my girlfriend's house and told her the story, I swear she laughed so loud that Karen could hear her 2 towns over. Remember, as far as Karen's concerned, you could be in the full dress uniform of an admiral of the fleet. To her, you still work at... insert store name here. And our second story. Call the cops about your stolen garbage? Sure thing. This happened a few years ago while I was working at a will-not-be-named drugstore. Some of the details are fuzzy, but I'll paraphrase as best I can. At said drugstore, we have a booth where people can buy lottery tickets, cash their winnings, etc. I was working said booth when what can best be described as your typical Karen walks in, wanting to check some lotto tickets. Karen hands over 2 lottery tickets and I run them through the ticket reader. Prize already claimed pops up on the screen, meaning the woman had taken these tickets elsewhere, collected her cash winnings, and opted to take the winning tickets with her afterward. This meant, at best, she mixed up her tickets. At worst, she was trying to run a scam. Though why she thought it'd work, I'm unsure. Me: Miss, the system is showing you've already cashed these tickets, meaning you've already received the prize. I put the tickets down on the counter in front of her. Karen: That's ridiculous. There's X prize on this one and X prize on this one. Go get your manager. As you wish, my minivan princess. Manager: Miss, you've already claimed these prizes. There's nothing we can do. Karen does as Karens do and flips out. I was only 16 at the time, so my manager handles her as I stand back and watch. Eventually, something clicks, and Karen hears for the first time what I'd told her 10 minutes ago and calms down. Not for long, crisis averted, my manager returns to her office. Karen: Where are my tickets? Me: I placed them on the counter in front of you. They're garbage anyway, since there's no prize on them. Karen: I didn't take them. Someone stole them. I keep all my lottery tickets. Where are they? Me, giving her some side eye. Not sure. I'll check around. No lottery tickets to be found anywhere at my station. I inform her that she's SOL, but again, the tickets are worthless. Karen, returning to her primal state: I don't have them, so clearly someone stole them. Call the police right now, or I will. This time I go to my manager's office and inform her of the situation. We decide if she wants the cops involved, then very well, we'll oblige. We do this both because if she calls, she'll likely say something nuts and cruisers will roll up, prep for an armed robbery, which would be a huge waste of police resources. And as well, perhaps this is a good time for Karen to learn appropriate use of emergency services. I call the non-emergency line and tell Karen to sit tight. We live in a quiet suburb-like town in our city, so a single officer arrives shortly thereafter. I speak to the officer and inform them of the situation, noting specifically we called in the best interest of the situation. Karen and the officer step into the break room to chat. What I hope occurred was a stern talking to and a swift diagnosis of Karenitis, followed by some crocodile tears and a hefty fine. Unfortunately, since I was the one who called, I don't believe this occurred. And since I couldn't hear their talk from my station, I can't say with any certainty what happened in there. That said, I can piece together that it wasn't pleasant as a flush-faced, purse falling off her shoulder, tip-tap, walk-running Karen emerged and made a beeline for the exit, not making eye contact with anyone. The satisfaction of a lightly cursing Karen struggling to find her sunglasses in the cosmic wasteland of her purse. The officer stopped by briefly to let me know not to call for anything similar, though I could tell there was no animosity between us, having been on the same side in the eternal battle against Karens. I don't know if you watched on security camera or not. Isn't it possible she took her lottery tickets and tried to claim they're lost and blame you for losing them? And our last story. Boot, tag, and tow. My elderly mother, who has never held a driver's license or owned a car, moved to a condo where most unit owners had indoor garages under their units, except my mom's, who had 2 outdoor stalls. They had an HOA, and the president of that board was a serious D-bag. Knowing my mom didn't have any cars, he always parked there and used the other stall as his personal visitor parking. It was convenient for him as the stalls were close to a side door that was close to his corner unit. I come from a very large family of 9, and myself or one of my brothers or sisters visited every day, and we often had nowhere to park. She had 12 siblings, and they all visited frequently too, and both stalls were always occupied with his cars. Eventually, we approached the DB and asked him to stop parking there as we need both stalls. He told us we should use visitor parking so he wasn't inconvenienced. First, we put up a no parking sign. I bought it online from a sign printing company, so it looked just like a city sign. It wasn't hand printed on cardboard. Then we sent him a registered letter telling him we would boot and tow any vehicle we found in our stall. I set up a motion-activated webcam pointed at the stalls. It was a little too far away, so I got a lot of false positives, but it would alert my phone if someone parked there. I knew the DB drove a Cavalier, and his visitors drive either a white car, a red pickup, or silver sedan. In my city, you can't tow anyone until the police have ticketed it. Tow companies won't even hook up unless it's tagged, so I'd get alerts from my webcam, phone my mom to confirm she didn't have company, then phone the cops to get them tagged. They would often take 3 or more hours, but I'd get another alert when they were there. When I got the second alert and saw the cop car sitting there, I immediately called my buddy's tow company and drove to my mom's. When I got there, 20 minutes later, a tow truck had already picked the truck up and was leaving. He said the second tow truck was 15 minutes away, so I went through with my boot plans. I had a long length of very heavy chain, probably 30 feet, that I used to lock up my motorcycle with when I lived in a shady part of town. That and a big fat padlock with a registered keyway. I chained the car through the back tire rim to a nearby light pole, then went and sat in my truck. The second tow truck and visitor looking for his red truck arrived at the same time. The visitor ran back to get DB and the tow truck hooked up. DB came back and demanded the tow operator drop his car. No problem, $125 please. DB throws a wobbler, screaming at me that he's going to sue me, evict my mom, etc. He finally paid the tow op and his car was released, but I refused to unchain his car. He threatened to call the cops. I admittedly was probably in the wrong, but I called his bluff and said, go ahead. He screamed and yelled and threatened me for a good 15 minutes until he was finally all ranted out. After that, we had a calm conversation about all the visitors my mother had, the majority of them also elderly, and that the stalls belonged to us. He eventually agreed to stop parking there, and to his credit, kept his word. His visitors were slower to come into compliance and had to be towed once each, including a second time for the red pickup, but they got the message. After they stopped parking there, I kind of missed all the confrontations. Also, my buddy was giving me a bottle of whiskey for every tow job I sent to him. Amazing to me how hard people will fight to keep something that wasn't even theirs. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.